Hello out there in internet land. This is the P&J F1 Chat, episode 16. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Phil Lamington, and beside me, the man who always likes to come first and second, JB. How are you, JB, my friend?
I'm on top of the world, my friend. I am on top of the world. I am in a very, very good mood.
Well, we are here to discuss the race that happened on Sunday night, the Italian F1 from Monza.
We absolutely are.
From the Temple of Speed, the Cathedral of Speed. Call it what you will.
Autodromo di Monza Internazionale.
That too.
Yeah, that one.
That was a really interesting race.
It was a really interesting weekend.
It was.
Like, the pack got shuffled. The deck got shuffled. It was good. It was good because, like, cars that I thought were going to do okay wound up doing very well. Cars that I thought were going to do very well wound up doing only okay.
Or the beach.
Or were in the gravel trap.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was the second race that we had of the qualifying was on the first day, on the Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went into the second ever sprint race on Saturday. Then we had the proper race on the Sunday.
Certainly did.
So we're going to go over the results of the sprint race. Not so much into detail about the sprint race, because, I mean, how many laps was the sprint race?
It was 18, and I do have some details on it.
Oh, go nuts then.
Right. Well, do you want to run through is that the finishing order we've got there?
That's how they finished, but then it was ratified afterwards because Bottas had...
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, we can go through the top 10.
Okay, well, at the end of sprint, before they were ratified, Bottas was first, Max Verstappen was second, Daniel Ricciardo in the McLaren was third, fourth was Lando Norris, fifth was Lewis Hamilton. That's surprising Lewis Hamilton was fifth.
Yeah, he didn't qualify so well. Oh, actually, yeah, he didn't qualify so well. I think he got a bad start. Yeah, he did. He got a bad start.
Sixth was Charles Leclerc. Seventh was Carlos Sainz. Eighth was Antonio Giovinazzi. Ninth was Sergio Perez. And 10th was Lance Stroll.
Yes, that was how they finished. So, the brief summary recap here, guys, of the sprint race. Valtteri Bottas starts on pole. He actually started on pole from his teammate Lewis Hamilton, and Max Verstappen, and the two McLarens were behind them. The Mercedes started on medium tyres, as did Max. The two McLarens started on softs because you get a free tyre choice at the start of this race. And actually at the start of the Grand Prix they got a free tyre choice as well, which I found interesting. Lewis Hamilton got a bad start. He got a bad start. So Bottas let Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris, both McLarens, jumped Lewis, which buried him. Pierre Gasly damaged his wing on the back end of Ricciardo's McLaren through turn 2, and the front wing subsequently went under his front wheels, and he crashed out at Curva Grande at pretty high speed going through the gravel trap, but he was okay. Robert Kubica spun as well after Yuki Tsunoda tapped him, so it was already off to a bad weekend for both AlphaTauris, and it only got worse from there, as you'll find out. Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton had a good scrap pretty much from lap 6 until the end. Lewis could not get past Lando. Lando showed some good driving this weekend.
Yeah.
Showed he's up for it with the big boys now. He's only 2 years into his career?
Yeah.
And he's already holding off Lewis Hamilton. He did it in this race, and he did it in the main race as well. So Lando holding off Lewis actually gave Daniel Ricciardo the space he needed to get away. Lap 9, Sergio Perez overtook Lance Stroll off the track and ceded the position, but had to cede the position, it was off the track. Lap 10, Sergio Perez got back past Lance Stroll using DRS down the front straight, and then a few laps later it was lap 18, and Valtteri Bottas won the race from Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo, taking 3 championship points, but he would start the Grand Prix dead last because he replaced pretty much his entire power unit.
Which then ratified the grid so that Max Verstappen was on pole position. Daniel Ricciardo was second on the grid. Lando Norris was third. Lewis Hamilton was fourth. Charles Leclerc was fifth. Carlos Sainz was sixth. Giovinazzi was seventh. Eighth was Perez. Ninth was Lance Stroll. 10th was Alonso. 11th was Vettel. 12th was Ocon. Nicholas Latifi was in 13th. In 14th was George Russell. 15th was Yuki Tsunoda. 16th was Mazepin. 17th was Robert Kubica, filling in for Kimi Raikkonen, who's still suffering from COVID. 18th was Mick Schumacher. 19th was Pierre Gasly. And starting dead last was Valtteri Bottas.
Indeed it was. And before the lights even went out, both AlphaTauris were in the pit lane. Yuki Tsunoda had brake and hydraulic issues, and Pierre Gasly's car was still damaged from the day before. Apparently they found an issue with the gearbox or something. So neither of them actually started the race, which is pretty bad for them. So, lap 1, Max Verstappen was on pole from Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris. All drivers got a free tyre choice at the start of the race, which I didn't even know that was a rule, but I guess it technically wasn't qualifying. It was a race.
I kind of think, though, they should still use the tyres they used in Q2 from qualifying from 2 days before.
Yeah, I thought that's what they'd do, but apparently not. Pretty much everyone started on mediums, except Lewis, who started on hard tyres, and Valtteri as well, I found out later. So both the Mercedes were playing the long game. But off the start, Daniel Ricciardo took the lead. Took the lead off Max. He just got a perfect launch, held the inside line down into the first chicane and led out of there. Lewis Hamilton tried to squeeze Lando Norris, but Lando got past him on the grass, I think, coming down into turn 1 as well. Lewis tried to overtake Max Verstappen in the second chicane, but gets squeezed out, and Max and Lando got past him. Antonio Giovinazzi, I think he shortcut the second chicane, or the first chicane.
Well, before that, in the first chicane, he actually got past Carlos Sainz.
Yeah, like Giovinazzi had a good start.
And then he tried to pass Charles Leclerc on the chicane, but missed it and had to bumpy over it. And then had an unsafe re-entry and was tagged by Carlos Sainz, who spun him and he broke his front wing.
Oh, I thought he hit Leclerc.
No, he was tagged by Carlos Sainz.
Ah, right. So, yeah, no, because he came back on, he hit one of the Ferraris.
Yep.
And probably sucks for him, considering he's fighting for his seat.
Yeah.
I mean, he got off to a good start, but as soon as he overshot the chicane and came back on, he, all his good work was undone, so I don't know how that's going to play out. And turns out I lied. Pierre Gasly was actually out on the track for 5 laps. He actually did start the race. Pierre Gasly retired from the race on lap 5 because his front suspension was still damaged from the crash in the sprint race, and it was affecting his steering. So Yuki Tsunoda did not start the race, and last year's Monza winner lasted 5 laps until he realised his steering was kaput. So,
and didn't Bottas start from the pit lane as well?
No, Bottas started from dead last, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Antonio Giovinazzi was giving a time penalty for his re-entry to the track on lap 8, which didn't do him any favours because he was last by then, or second last, because he had already come in for a set of hards and a new front wing. Lap 12, Lando Norris fends off a good attack from Lewis Hamilton, which would become a recurring theme.
That was like a really good defence from Lando Norris.
He has stepped up so well.
Like a lot of people would see Lewis Hamilton sitting in their rearview mirror
and
freak out, and he held his nerve.
Yep.
You know.
Remind me a little bit of the MotoGP race which happened earlier that night. Pecco Bagnaia holding off Marc Marquez. And it's like, and the commentators were like, well, your pit board saying 0093 behind you. It's like, what sort of pressure does that put on you? It'd be very much the same looking on your dashboard seeing 0044. And it's like, well, fuck, it's Lewis. Like, what do you do? But Lando come on leaps and bounds this year.
Yeah.
Lap 15, Esteban Ocon hit Sebastian Vettel coming into the second chicane and was later handed a 5-second penalty for squeezing him. Seb had a bad race. That dude was in the wars all day. All day he was in the wars. I think he finished 12th, so that's not a good day for him.
Yeah.
Lap 19, Valtteri Bottas had climbed into 9th from dead last. So by lap 19 of 53, he was already scoring championship points.
Yeah.
So that's just what the pace of that Mercedes had. Like he was the fastest driver out there today, or Sunday, but he obviously coming from the back didn't get a chance to show it. Lap 22, Daniel Ricciardo pits from the race lead. 2.4 second pit stop as McLaren tried to cover Max Verstappen's undercut, which happened. Well, Max Verstappen went in lap 23. The front right tyre or the rear right tyre, one of them on that side, didn't tighten properly and was held for 11.1 seconds. And by the time he came out of the pit lane, he was behind Ricciardo and Bottas. Lap 24, Lewis Hamilton finally got past Lando Norris, who then came in and pitted. A lap later, lap 25, Lewis Hamilton pits for a 4-second stop. Lando Norris gets past him, and just as he gets past him, Max Verstappen arrives beside him into the first chicane. And then into turn 2, and I'm sure we'll go into this detail later.
Yes.
Max Verstappen is squeezed by Lewis onto the sausage curb. Max Verstappen's car jumps into the air as a result. The rear of his car landing on Lewis's halo system, with his rear tyre hitting Lewis's helmet. And they're both out of the race, the championship leaders. Car slide into the gravel trap. Max Verstappen walks off without checking on Lewis Hamilton, mind you. Just walks away as the safety car comes out. And our championship leaders get 0 points for the weekend.
To Max's defence here, just a little bit of a defence. Like, yes, he should have gone over and seen Lewis. At the time, Lewis was trying to reverse his car out.
Yeah. Lewis still had the engine running, was actually trying to reverse from under Max's car, and the only thing that stopped him was his airbox was damaged.
And his rear wing.
Oh, yeah, his rear wing had been folded too, but I don't think he knew that at the time.
No.
So, yeah, maybe Max was just like, oh, well, try and get back in the race if you can. Lap 31. Safety car comes in. Lando Norris dives at Charles Leclerc on the restart. And Lando gets him on the inside of Curva Grande on the grass. Like, ballsy.
Yeah.
Like, so not only has he held off Lewis Hamilton for most of the race, he then goes on the attack and with two wheels on the grass gets under the Ferrari at Ferrari's home track at Curva Grande on the grass.
It was a ballsy manoeuvre.
Oh, the kid has got balls. Lap
I've
32.
got balls of steel.
Lap 32. Mick Schumacher hits Sebastian Vettel, but is then spun by Nikita Mazepin, his teammate. So, wouldn't want to be in the Haas debrief.
Well, we'll get to that a bit later.
Lap 37. Sergio Perez is given a 5-second penalty for gaining an advantage off the track. Can't remember who he overtook.
Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, and then
Because he cut the second chicane.
He cut the chicane.
And then wouldn't give the position back because he was on the radio saying Charles Leclerc squeezed me. But I watched the footage and he wasn't squeezed.
Right.
He just overshot the braking.
Interesting. Lap 41. Lando's engineer actually radioed him. Lando asking is it best for us for me to stay behind Daniel? Because Lando was actually faster at this point in the race. And the message came back, best for us is to stay where you are, effectively telling him to hold station and cover off I think it was Sergio at the time, behind him. As Valtteri Bottas' charge seems to stall out, so his tyres were finally, he made it up to P4, that would become P3, but his car had finally run out, so his charge to the field was effectively ending. Lap 44, Nikita Mazepin's car brakes on the side of the track, perhaps some poetic justice, depends on who you talk to, bringing out the virtual safety car. Lap 46, Daniel Ricciardo told to push and Lando told to go with him and try and break the toe of Sergio Perez, and they did. I'm pretty sure they set like fastest laps towards the end, so the McLarens definitely had pace. And then lap 53, Daniel Ricciardo wins the Italian Grand Prix from teammate Lando Norris and a promoted Valtteri Bottas. Daniel Ricciardo's first race win since 2018, McLaren's first race win since Brazil 2012, and McLaren's first 1-2 since Canada 2010.
And also Daniel Ricciardo got the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, on the last lap, or second last lap.
So the final positions, first was Daniel Ricciardo, second was Lando Norris, third was Valtteri Bottas, fourth was Charles Leclerc, fifth was Sergio Perez, sixth was Carlos Sainz, seventh was Lance Stroll, eighth was Fernando Alonso, ninth was George Russell in the points again.
Good on him.
10th was Esteban Ocon, 11th was Nicholas Latifi, 12th was Sebastian Vettel, 13th was Antonio Giovinazzi, 14th was Robert Kubica, 15th was Mick Schumacher, and the not classifieds were Yuki Tsunoda, Pierre Gasly, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, and Nikita Mazepin. What a drive by Daniel Ricciardo.
What a flawless drive by Danny Rick.
I bet that shut Fox Motorsports
Fox,
right up.
That's it. Fox Motorsports out of business now. Their F1 wing has all been sacked.
Josh Poliarchi or whatever that stupid guy is been writing hate articles about Daniel Ricciardo all year. He's just going to have to go and buy a soy fucking latte.
But he's going to have to turn around and he'll be Daniel Ricciardo's biggest nut hugger now for
Yep.
I didn't say a bad word about him ever.
Bullshit.
I told you guys. I told you all out there in internet land as well that it was going to come. It was going to come. Daniel Ricciardo was going to turn the corner, and he did.
Look, I will admit, he had been struggling in that car.
He has.
All year. And he needed the break,
Yeah.
the mid-season break, and he needed this win. He needed a podium.
I'll come clean too. I thought McLaren's first win back was definitely going to be Lando Norris before it was going to be Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah.
But my God, what a flawless drive.
Even from Lando Norris.
Even from Lando Norris.
Drive.
All through the sprint race and through the first half of the main race. Holding off Lewis Hamilton
Yeah.
is no easy feat. The kid is the future. That's it. Build McLaren around him. I mean, they already are, but if this is how good he is at 21, he's going to win a he's going to win a championship. He's going to win several.
And that McLaren Mercedes has come really good on this track.
Well, and last year when Carlos Sainz just lost out to Pierre Gasly, and my lasting thought was, damn, I wish it had the Merc donkey in it because I reckon we would have got it.
Yeah.
And then this year, we come with the Merc donkey and we dominate the race. I mean, and you can't even take it away. You can't even take it away and say Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen took each other out, because by the time they took each other out, the McLarens were already ahead anyway.
Yeah.
So we didn't win this on merit or on luck. That was just a flawless team drive from both of them, and it's been coming.
You know who else had a really good weekend was Valtteri Bottas. Ever since they announced, he's going to Alfa Romeo, he's just seemed like a guy who's got the weight taken off his shoulders.
That is pressure-free driving.
And also, something else I noticed was they showed him the replay of the Max Lewis crash.
And he's laughing.
He didn't. Did he laugh?
He didn't laugh. But
He just shrugged his shoulders and went, "Oh well."
He had a little smile on his face. One of the cameras caught him with this wry little smile. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that is pressure-free. That's like the football team that scrapes into the finals and then just has nothing to lose and goes nuts.
Yep.
That's Valtteri Bottas now.
You know what that was? Queensland in State of Origin last year.
Yeah.
Particularly the last game. We got nothing to lose. Just throw it at it.
And then it works.
And they won State of Origin.
And then it works, yep.
Because New South Wales sucks.
We don't talk about this year's one, though.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll have a different coach next year.
That's it.
Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, they had a really solid weekend too.
Yeah, I don't think the Ferrari was as quick in a straight line as they wanted it to be, though.
No, but they don't have the update is for the next race. The power unit update is for the next race.
Yeah, yep.
Perez, his weekend was pretty average. He could have done better, but he could have done worse.
He finished in the points and his teammate didn't.
Yeah. Lance Stroll had a meh weekend.
Both Astons did, but I did hear that they were actually carrying more downforce
Yeah.
than a lot of the other cars, because their handling's not so great.
Yeah.
I actually thought they'd be good in a straight line, but they definitely were not. So yeah.
Right, so that was the results. Now we get to the fun stuff. Now, so we're off to the pit lane questions, and it's obvious the first one, the Max and Lewis Hamilton crash.
Yeah, the big talking point.
So I'm going to ask you straight up, JB, how would you deem it?
I deemed it 50-50.
Yeah?
Lewis didn't give him the space. Lewis squeezed him under the sausage curb, and the only reason they crashed is because Max hit the sausage curb. Because looking as Lewis leaves the pit lane, he's already... I mean, Lando's past him, that's fine, but he's already trying to squeeze Max.
Yeah.
From the moment he's cleared that white line, he's trying to squeeze Max.
And it was a rather vigorous...
It was a very aggressive switch cross.
Yeah.
And then he knows Max is there coming into the corner. He knows Max is there. He knows he's there. He knows he's going to be on the inside for turn 2. He'll be outside of turn 1, but the inside for turn 2. He definitely could have afforded Max half a car width, because you know what? And Max Verstappen said it himself. He said he could have given me more space, because more likely than not, we would have come out of turn 2. I would have had to have taken a sharper steering angle anyway, and he would have probably won the drag race down to the next one anyway. So Lewis Hamilton really had nothing to gain by squeezing him, because not only is he on medium tyres, is he on mediums there?
He's on the mediums.
Yeah, so not only is he on the mediums there and Max is on the hard, so he'll get more drive anyway. And they're fresh mediums. They've only done 300 metres of racing to that point.
Yeah.
He was probably going to beat Max in the drag race down to the next one anyway, so he could have afforded to open the steering angle a bit.
But I mean, even when Lewis Hamilton came out of the pits, like the photo we've got up, and there's no, like these photos, I actually on my phone put up the footage of the crash and screenshotted various photos.
Yeah.
Also noticed there is no footage from the camera from Lewis Hamilton's car.
Yeah?
There is no footage of that camera.
Right.
But if you look at this photo, which I think is photo 3,
Yep.
which I will put up.
Yeah, we'll get these photos up so you know what we're talking about.
Photo 3, which is them going into turn 1 from Max's perspective. Max has got his wheels almost on the grass anyway. He's over the white line, which shows how much Lewis has squeezed him already going into turn 1. They're not even at turn 1. They're in the breaking point of turn 1.
Yeah, Max is off the track essentially there.
Yeah.
He's on the green verge, so Lewis is already, trying to take the racing line, I guess. Max is half on the racing line, half on the grass. So yeah, Lewis has definitely squeezed him. That photo's damning. Look how far off the apex Lewis is.
Yep.
Look how far off the apex Lewis
And
is.
his tyres are a lot straighter than Max Verstappen's.
Look where his car's pointing.
Yeah.
His car's pointing towards the sausage curb. He's not even aiming for turn 2.
Yep. And then you get it from that perspective.
Yeah. Where's Lewis trying to go?
He's heading for the apex.
Look where Lando is.
Yeah.
He's not heading. Lewis isn't heading for the apex. Lewis is heading to go over the ripple strip. He's not heading for the apex. Look at Lando.
Yeah.
He's like 3/4 of a car length in compared to Lewis. I know what he's trying to do, but he's going about it all wrong.
And then he's completely pushed Max
Yeah.
off the track.
Yeah. And there's the sausage curb on the inside of the apex, which he's going to hit.
And then he hits it.
Yep. And then he bounces up and he lands on Lewis's car. Where's Max meant to go?
That's right.
Where's Max meant to go? The only thing Max can do is either stop, and he's not going to. It's Max Verstappen. Or he cuts the chicane.
Or he ends up on top of Lewis Hamilton.
Or he ends up on top of Lewis Hamilton, which is option number 3.
So my viewpoint on this, and I'm sorry, I think the FIA's got it wrong. I think Lewis is at fault.
Lewis has definitely squeezed him.
You know, Lewis has tried to be sneaky there. Because
he's been more aggressive than he should have been.
Lewis is trying to drive sneaky now.
What's the rule? What's always the rule? What's rule number 1? Leave a car's width.
Yeah. And
Do you believe that was a car's width?
He did not leave a car's width.
That's not a car's width.
But, so Max Verstappen has been given a 3-place grid penalty for the next race.
Yep.
Right? Do you know how the FIA came to the ruling that it was Max's fault?
Please explain, because I am baffled.
They said Max should have lifted off going into turn 1. And they treated the entire chicane as one corner and said that Max should have lifted off going into turn 1 because he was not alongside Lewis Hamilton going into turn 1.
He was alongside Lewis Hamilton going into turn 1.
No, what they deem as alongside is your front wing is significantly beside their front tyres. And as you can tell from that photo...
Yeah, okay, he's not.
No, but they treated it as one corner, and that, I think, is wrong.
Because it's 2 directions. It's not a corner going in the same direction. It's a chicane.
Yeah.
At the point of contact, I mean, it's probably significantly alongside there. I mean, it's too late.
Look, it was significant alongside coming out of turn 1.
Esteban Ocon got a penalty for hitting Seb Vettel.
Yeah.
And the ruling there was his front axle was 3/4 of the way out the car or something, and it wasn't deemed a racing incident. Or, okay, I sort of fudged the ruling on it, but I don't agree with the FIA here at all.
No, at worst, racing incident, or at best, racing incident. At worst, Hamilton's to blame.
Yeah. At best, 50-50. At worst, that's not a car's width.
Well, I mean, if you go into the one where they're coming out of turn 1...
That's a car's width, but Lewis has to keep turning the wheel. Lewis would have to go around.
And if you look at the front tyres, Lewis is a lot straighter than Max's tyres.
Yeah, Lewis is going straight for the apex from there.
Yeah.
He's going straight to the apex from there, but he's got a car on his outside. That's not a car's width.
No. And he knew the car was there.
He knew Max was there. Of course he was. That's why he's that far over.
To quote Juan Pablo Montoya, he didn't see me. You must be blind.
Oh,
no.
I
was even,
He knew he was there.
You remember that from Montoya talking about
I
Schumacher.
do, and I think what Lewis wants to happen here is for Max to shortcut the chicane.
Yeah.
And he's fucking not going to. It's Max Verstappen.
No. This shows me that Lewis Hamilton has now become very desperate.
He's become a little desperate, and Max Verstappen continues to show him that he's not fucking scared of him.
And Valtteri Bottas's reaction to this footage shows me that he knows that Lewis Hamilton is not as great as he thinks he is, and that he is a slightly underhanded little bastard.
Maybe. I wouldn't go that far. Lewis is under pressure, and he's driving like he's under pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Max isn't going to give him a fucking inch.
No.
As he showed. It's very center prostish, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very center prostish.
And it's only going to heat up from here.
Yeah.
And you know what? I love it.
Yes.
This is the season of Formula One that we have been waiting for.
It's coming back.
The entire V6 turbo hybrid era.
Because we got a taste of it with Lewis and Vettel, but it wasn't really nothing. We got it with Nico and Lewis, but they're teammates. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Now it's team versus team. You don't have team orders getting in the way of anything. It's team versus team. It's yeah. This is what we've wanted for 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah.
A proper title fight, and it's on. It is on. This is what you get when you don't leave the space. I can't argue with that point, Max Verstappen.
Right. So the next talking point is that Alex Albon has signed for Williams in 2022.
The next talking point. P&J podcast called this 2 weeks ago. Or a week ago. We called this.
Yeah,
We called this. We're like, yeah, Alex Albon to Williams, and now we've got to find Kimi's replacement, which I still think is going to be Callum Ilott. I still think it's going to be Callum Ilott.
Well, what do you think about Albon going to Williams?
Fair enough.
And partnering with, they confirmed that Nicholas Latifi is keeping his seat at Williams.
I'm more surprised about that.
Yeah, me too. But I am surprised about Albon. I mean, Toto Wolff expressed...
I'm not surprised about Albon, because if Toto Wolff has his back, and he's a Mercedes Academy driver, or he is now...
Albon?
Yeah, he is now.
He was Red Bull.
Yeah, but Toto...
He's on loan from Red Bull.
Is he on loan?
That's like Carlos Sainz was on loan to Renault from Red Bull.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But Toto Wolff expressed concern over Albon still having ties with Red Bull, yet driving for Williams, which is a team that has some help from Mercedes. So he was a bit...
I'm sure there's a clause in the contract saying he can't fucking spill team secrets to Red Bull.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get the shiny new package from Mercedes powertrains and then spill the beans to Red Bull.
No.
Because that's where Spygate happens and we get another big lawsuit.
But, you know, it was a bit of a surprise that Albon signed with Williams, but...
It was, but like I said... Did I say it in the last episode? Where it's like you either sit as a test driver because you're not going to AlphaTauri and you're certainly not going back to Red Bull, or do you take your chance and get a seat back in Formula One and join Williams?
Yeah, well,
and the question has been answered.
Yeah. I think he deserves to be in Formula One. It's going to be good to see how he goes without the Red Bull...
stigma.
Yeah, without the Red Bull umbrella.
He's going to be under a lot less pressure. He's not going to have Horner and Helmut Marko breathing down his neck.
No.
He's not in a top team trying to tail gun a championship contending driver.
He's in a team that's trying to fight its way back to the front of the grid.
Yeah, he's in a team that's he's on a team that's on the upswing.
Yeah.
It's like joining a second tier football club trying to get back in the Premier League.
And I think that's why they retained Nicholas Latifi, because he does have experience in the team.
Yeah, exactly.
So he knows the personnel there, so he can help Alex Albon integrate into the team.
Yep. Yeah, and he's already helped develop the car and whatnot.
The next story, I don't have a photo up for it yet. I will download a photo for this. Is that apparently the 2025 engine regulations have been pushed back to 2026.
Okay.
That the MGU-H is being ditched.
The heat unit, yep.
And that Red Bull will have a new engine supplier.
Not Honda, or not the intellectual Honda thing that they're taking over?
No. Volkswagen.
Really?
That's the hot rumor that's going on around the track in Formula One, is that's why it's been pushed back to 2026, and that the MGU-H is being ditched from the power units.
Any further word from Porsche and Audi?
Well, Volkswagen is their parent company.
So Volkswagen's just going to join instead?
Yeah.
Instead of Porsche and Audi?
Yeah.
Fair enough. More engine suppliers. Good.
And they're going to use the current Honda engine, as they're sort of building off points that they can hit the ground running with their own technology using...
the Le Mans technology that Porsche and Audi already have.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not.
And using what Red Bull's running at the moment, the Honda unit, because now, like at the end of the season, Honda will still supply parts for these engines and power units and everything to Red Bull, but they become Red Bull powertrains.
Yeah. Until Volkswagen takes over.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Good.
so then
Good.
AlphaTauri and Red Bull will be factory Volkswagen. But
Red Bull Volkswagen.
yeah, chances are though, Volkswagen, the parent company, is the one talking about it. It'll probably be either Audi or Porsche that actually is the engine supplier.
So it'll be
Yeah,
Red Bull Audi or Red Bull Porsche.
yeah.
I can see them being Red Bull Porsche. Doesn't Christian Horner have ties with Porsche?
No, that was Jost Capito
Ah, yes.
and Andrea Seidel.
McLaren Porsche. Hmm.
No, but I think McLaren's going to stick with Mercedes.
Yeah.
They're on a winner with that.
They are, well, definitely on a literal winner with that as of 2 nights ago.
The next question. What the hell is going on between Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin?
Punches.
Oh,
Punches and screaming.
I'm sorry, but I think that Mick Schumacher needs to get out of that team. I keep saying it. He needs to get into that spare seat at Alfa Romeo and get away from Mazepin.
When does he pitch his case? Surely he's got clout now to pitch his case.
Well, they haven't confirmed that. So, from the listing I saw on Saturday night while I was on a break from a gig, because I play gigs. So Mercedes is sewn up, Ferrari is sewn up, McLaren is sewn up,
Yep.
Red Bull is sewn up, AlphaTauri is sewn up. Aston Martin still has to confirm both their drivers for next year.
Williams is sewn up.
Williams is sewn up.
Now.
Alfa Romeo has confirmed Valtteri Bottas, but they've got the remaining seat, and Haas has to confirm their 2 drivers.
They'll
Now,
confirm Mazepin because his dad has money.
well, it's the same as Aston Martin. Like, they'll confirm Vettel.
They'll confirm Stroll.
Oh,
They'll
yeah.
confirm Vettel. I don't think Vettel's done anything wrong there.
No.
Unless he
no.
wants to leave the sport, which he
No.
probably doesn't want to.
Nah.
Considering he got a podium this year.
Yeah.
Like, he's not done.
No.
Yeah.
And Alpine has confirmed their drivers.
Yeah, of course.
So, in this conversation though, you've got you've got 2 Haas seats and 1 Alfa Romeo seat not confirmed. And obviously Mazepin's going to stay there because his old man is buying the team or whatever's going on with
Yeah,
that.
he's not leaving.
Schumacher needs to start talking to someone at Alfa Romeo or Gunther Steiner needs to start punching these, particularly Mazepin. Mazepin seems to be doing
Mick
more.
Schumacher's done nothing wrong really this year.
No,
It's all been Mazepin.
yeah.
It's all
I mean,
been
look
Mazepin.
at the race this weekend. It was Mazepin spun Schumacher.
After he cut him off in, what was the last race? God, it's a blur.
Zandvoort,
Yeah.
Netherlands,
After he tried to crash him out on lap 1 at Zandvoort.
and
And cut him off in qualifying.
which caused Sebastian Vettel to fuck up his qualifying lap.
Yeah, not to mention all the crashes he's had this year.
Yeah,
The dude can't drive.
yeah. He's taking up a seat that he doesn't deserve. Lance Stroll is more deserving of a seat in Formula One.
Lance Stroll can drive. He
Yeah.
fucking proves
And I
he
mean,
can drive.
we were saying that about when Lance Stroll first in.
Yeah, he's like,
You know.
the kid can't drive. He's all money.
Yeah,
And then he proved that he can drive.
yeah.
He won. Did he win?
Baku,
Baku?
a couple of years ago.
No, didn't he win? No, he didn't win. He must have got second. Where was it?
Or was it Turkey last
It
year?
was Turkey where he got pole or something, or he got
Yeah,
second.
yeah,
Yeah,
he got- yeah,
yeah. Like he proved he can drive.
yeah,
The kid can drive.
yeah,
Mazepin can't drive.
yeah.
Mazepin is like one of the worst drivers we've ever seen. We've been through this.
Yeah, I know.
We've been through this.
But I
There-
mean, now it's actually getting to a boiling point where Ralf Schumacher has actually had to step in. Ralf Schumacher has stepped in and finally said, like, he needs to get out of this team, and
he needs to go back to F2 and stay there.
who, Schumacher or
No,
Mazepin?
Mazepin.
Oh, Mazepin should go to IndyCar. He'd work well over there. He can just crash into everyone else.
Let's go to NASCAR.
Yeah. He can drive against Tom Cruise.
Drive in circles and crash into people you don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Robin's racing.
Apparently.
Yeah. I've watched Days of Thunder. Yeah. That's on a side note. That was actually something my brother used to say whenever we played V8 Supercars 3.
Robin's racing.
Yeah. Like he'd sit there and tap you. He'd sit there and go, "Oi, piss off," and he'd go, I didn't hit you. I didn't bump you. I rubbed you." And rubbing is racing.
Little old bump draft. No.
And then he'd put you in the wall. He'd be like, "You bastard." Next race, he'd do the same thing. Woo, fuck off. But, yeah, look, this is chaos at Haas. The entire team is utter chaos. Gunther
Steiner's been through this with Magnussen and Grosjean.
This is worse than them, though.
Yeah, but at least Magnussen and Grosjean didn't hate each other or didn't drive like shit.
It's almost like Haas is just single-handedly creating drama for Drive to Survive Season 4.
You just want to break his fuck door again.
Yeah, I can imagine him in the briefing room sitting there going, you did this and you did this. I'm all fucking sick of this fucking wank.
Fucking vankers. You fucking vankers want to break my fucking car.
He's all fucking vank.
Except he can't use the Gene Haas excuse anymore because Gene Haas is pulling out, I believe.
Yeah.
Sick of throwing money at this shithole team.
Yeah. It's a shame too.
And it's because it's not Gunther Steiner's fault.
I bet
Gunther Steiner has been dealt the rough end of the pineapple for like 4 seasons now.
Yeah.
I feel for that guy.
Haas's problems all started with that knob wank from Rich Energy.
Yeah, the Rich Energy fiasco, just like, that's how desperate they were for money, I guess. And then from there, it just all went to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this team's just not leaving a good legacy at all.
And to be perfectly honest, I'm sure the personnel at Haas are amazing. I mean, Schumacher's engineer seems like an absolute champion.
And they usually are. Usually down on the little teams, even in supercars and stuff, you see it. The little teams that don't get all the spotlight and shit. They're just genuine, hard-working people because because they're up against the big teams. They don't have the multi-million-dollar factory. They don't.
And they're grateful to be on the grid.
Yeah, they just got this like standard little fucking unit block in an industrial estate somewhere.
It's very much like Hesketh.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
They just built a car and went racing because that's what they do.
Yeah, they
don't have to be flash. I mean, they were because they were millionaires.
Yeah,
but don't forget the champagne and the oysters in the pit lane. Like, okay, they were flashy, but
or Eddie Jordan F1.
Yeah, exactly. You're just there for the passion of the sport.
Yeah,
you're there because you want to be there, you want to compete, and
because it's the pinnacle of motorsport.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're not going to win races, you're not even going to get championship points, but you're there.
Yeah,
and it's a thrill.
Yeah, and
I'm sure it's all very well and good behind, in the factory, but
my point being, like, there's probably amazing people in the personnel, in the mechanics and Mick Schumacher's engineer and Gunther Steiner, and even Mick Schumacher as a person, but I'm worried that Ferrari has backed the wrong horse here, and I think they should have built a factory, because they've built like a mini factory for Haas at Maranello to help them out, like where they can supply them parts directly and all that type of thing. I think they should have backed Alfa Romeo.
I think they should have backed Alfa Romeo too, but the only saving grace for Haas is they've got all their tokens and all their development on next year's car. And if we don't see a fucking upswing, then
yeah, but I mean, Alfa Romeo is second last in the constructors. They're not going to lose that much wind tunnel time.
But we know already that Haas has put all their eggs in the next year's basket.
Well, it better be a decent fucking basket.
Exactly, it better be a decent basket.
Here's the thing, though. You can stick all your eggs into a basket. You can stick all your eggs into a fucking egg carton and sell them at Coles. If your two drivers keep crashing into each other because one's a son of a multiple-time world driver and my opinion, the greatest driver of all time. And then the other driver is just a Russian lunatic who seems to think that because Daddy is
Daddy
a
can
Russian...
pay all the bills.
Daddy's a Russian gangster fuckhead arsewank, that he can do whatever he wants. Like, celebrate getting into Formula One by groping a girl and filming it.
By indecently groping a girl.
And then paying her to
shut up.
To say that it was just a joke and we're just friends and rah rah rah.
Yeah.
And now he's going to cost the team so much money by constantly crashing into his teammate, and then he's going to start getting grid penalties for blocking his teammate during qualifying, and then he walks around with a chip on his shoulder saying, "Oh, it's not me, it's Mick." Yeah, Mick's got a chip on his shoulder because he thinks he's the son of a 7-time world champion.
Yeah, but Mick already knows where he's going. He already knows he's going to be a Ferrari driver in 3 years.
The thing is, Mick's got the talent.
Exactly.
Mick's got the talent.
Nikita's going nowhere. I mean, as in...
Yeah.
No one outside of Haas would touch him with a 10-foot pole.
No, not even Williams.
Williams wouldn't touch him. Alfa Romeo won't touch him, and none of the big teams are going to touch him.
No.
He is fucking poison chalice. If he thinks he's getting out of Haas, or he thinks he's going anywhere else, with any delusion of fucking grandeur, he's mistaken. He's not going anywhere.
The problem is that if he leaves Haas, that team folds without his old man.
That's it. But you know what? Maybe all for the better. We've seen a million teams like this.
Yeah, I know.
HRT, Manor Marussia, Caterham, millions of them. Force India, although they folded and became
Racing Point,
and then became Aston Martin. So
Jordan.
Yeah.
Well, Jordan folded and became Midland, then became Spiker, then became Force India.
Yeah. Jaguar. They folded and became Red Bull, though, didn't they?
Yeah. Before that, it was Stewart.
Yeah.
Prost, which was Ligier before that.
Yeah.
Footwork.
Good old Footwork. I haven't had that name in years.
Arrows.
Yep, Arrows.
Yeah. Copper fucking Suka.
Copper fucking Suka, backed by the Brazilian government.
They
actually forced Fitty fucking Porty to drive for them because he couldn't get out of it because he wanted to stay at McLaren.
Walter Wolf Racing.
Yeah.
There's so many teams we can sit here and rattle off. Even Lancia had a Formula One team.
That's it. There's 1,000,001 teams that have been like this and looked set to leave decent legacies and didn't. And Haas is very much going down that trajectory of it's just going to be another Manor Marussia. It's just going to be another HRT.
Wouldn't it be ironic if the team called Haas got bought out by Roger Penske? Wouldn't that be ironic?
That would never happen. Gene Haas would be dead in his grave before he lets his rival take him out.
Yeah, but I mean, what if the team is already sold to Mazepin's old man, and then Roger Penske, not Gene Penske, that's his cousin.
Gene Penske.
Gene Penske.
Ooh.
Roger Haas.
The merger no one asked for.
But if Penske bought the team off Dimitri Mazepin, that'd be scary.
Yeah, but I don't know. I want to see when Haas packs up shop how long Dimitri Mazepin will give it until he pulls the plug too. Because if a millionaire racing addict who's made his name in America for years, Gene Haas, can't make it in Formula One, what hope does a Russian gangster millionaire, blood money, whatever Dimitri is?
Well, here's a better question. How long is it that Ferrari's going to secretly back Haas with a Russian gangster running the team?
I don't think Ferrari will back... If Gene Haas pulls out, do you think Ferrari will still back him?
They'll back him for a certain length on a contract.
They don't have to back them once Dimitri Mazepin buys it out, do they?
They'll still honour the contract.
I reckon as soon as the contract's up.
Yeah, once that contract's up,
they'll start backing Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
They're stupid not to.
But these two, and it's not Mick Schumacher's fault. Like I say, these two, but it's Nikita Mazepin just being an arrogant prick, and Mick Schumacher sitting there going, "I've come here to race.
Yeah.
I've come here to live up to my old man's legacy, and you're fucking it." And he is. Mazepin is fucking with Mick Schumacher and his family's legacy. And that's what Ralph Schumacher has said. The one person whose opinion I really am waiting to hear, though, is Jacques Villeneuve. Because he's got an opinion on everything.
Jacques Villeneuve would give you an opinion.
I'm amazed he hasn't put out an opinion or any.
I'm sure he has.
You know, I reckon even Jacques Villeneuve will sit there and say Mazepin's a dickhead.
He is, though.
He is, yeah.
I can't defend him.
No one can defend him.
You can't
defend him.
He can't even defend him. Yeah, no. I mean, we've been very unimpressed with him. And
that's being polite.
Yeah, we were unimpressed with him coming into Formula One. We were unimpressed with him at the start of the year. And we're unimpressed with him now.
Unimpressed is being polite.
We've ranted. This is the third rant this year that we've had on this kid. He's just poison chalice.
Yeah.
And no one will sign him.
And you know what's worse is if William's story from Rich Energy is led to be believed, well, you got to take it with a grain or two of salt. He reckons he's buying into a Formula One team that's run by a mate of his. And all of it points at this team. He really has his focus on this fucking team.
You know what? Go join the circus. Go join the circus. We'll have a Russian, whatever he is, billionaire, his son who can't drive for shit, and the guy who was selling fake energy drinks with £500 in his bank account.
They're not fake energy drinks.
Well, not anymore, they were.
What he's doing is he's buying a whole bunch of empty cans, buying a whole bunch of Red Bull cans, and tipping Red Bull into another can and then selling it.
Yeah.
But selling it exclusively. If I was... whoever the fuck is the guy in charge of Red Bull? I don't mean like Helmut Marko.
No, you mean the guy in charge of the actual company.
Dietrich Mateschitz or the top guy.
Yeah.
I would be doing some fucking investigationizing on this and figuring out what the fuck the go is.
It's the guy selling fake, the guy selling rip-off energy drinks with the guy who's a rip-off Formula One driver and a rip-off Formula One team.
It's just perfect.
It looks the part, but it's really not the part. If you peel the layers back, what we've really got here is Alexander de Crasherus and what looks like a Formula One team, but it's actually just a bunch of like Russian blood money and a glorified go-kart. It's perfect. Just pitch the circus tent up. Let's go.
You know what it is? It's de Crasherus. The team is HRT.
Oh my god.
Or Campos F1. No, Life.
Oh, Life.
Or Andrea Motor. now we're going into the annals, or in this case, the annals of Formula One history.
The annals of Formula One history.
And if you want to know about these teams, quick shout out to someone who knows fucking nothing about us. Aidan Milward does a whole bunch of these retrospective things, but he had all of his videos taken down because of YouTube, but he's put them all back up as just audio or with him driving sim racing cars around the track. But check them out, they're really interesting. And if you do go and check them out, put a comment in there just saying, hey, go and check out P&J's F1 chat, because they dropped a comment about this.
All 17 of you, get out there and do it.
Yes, get out there, Lewis. All right, final question. Antonio Giovinazzi, has he done enough to stay in F1 the next year?
He did initially. I honestly believe he did. He qualified 7th. He had a good sprint race. He had a shit start. He initially did enough because he was fast all weekend and he was gonna score points.
I mean, he was up there with the Ferraris. He was giving the Ferraris a run for their money.
Had he survived lap 1, would have been interesting. I believe he did enough. I mean, unfortunately, he took himself out.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, he took himself out on lap 1, which doesn't help him. But to that point, man, yeah, I'd give. What was his deadline this race?
Yeah.
I'd give him Sochi.
Yeah.
Give him Sochi because he proved.
You can't really count Spa, can you?
No, obviously not. No one can count Spa, but I'd give him Sochi. I'd give him a reprieve. I'd be like, you put it 7th. You put it 7th. You were fast all weekend. It was your fault you crashed. You can't blame anyone but yourself on that one. But to that point, he looked all right. He'd done enough for mine.
He's got to keep it up.
Now you got to go to Sochi, and you've got to get as close to a fucking 10th spot as you can. You got to try and get some points. Try and finish ahead of the Williams.
See, I think this is something that Alfa Romeo has gotten wrong. Okay. As I readjust myself, putting Robert Kubica in the car was a no-no.
Yeah, I think this was a real good chance for Callum Wilot to get some experience.
Yeah. Then you could see...
Kimi's back for the next race too, you confirmed that today.
But if you put Callum Wilot in that car against Giovinazzi, you see who's who and what's what.
Yeah, you can have a glimpse into the future and it's not costing you anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, that way you see what you can...
Yeah, you can see what Giovinazzi's still got for you.
You've got what you've got and what you can have.
Yes.
See, two great minds think alike.
I just want Callum Wilot in Formula 1.
Yeah,
I think
me
he's
too.
earned it.
Me too. And Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, come on, kid.
Come on, kid. Well, I mean, he won the race and got a hug from Mark Webber.
We've got Oscar Piastri in Formula 3 and we got Jack Doohan in Formula 2.
No, you got that around the wrong way.
No, I don't.
Oscar Piastri's in in F2.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's in Formula 3.
No. Jack Doohan's in Formula 3.
Did I really get that wrong?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Piastri is in F2. Because he was racing against Guan Yu Zhou and Robert Schwartzman and Roy Nissany.
My point is...
And Jack Doohan won the GP3 race a couple of weeks ago.
My point is there's some good Aussies coming up.
Yes.
And I want to see them all in Formula 1.
I think there's even a Kiwi in GP3.
Yeah, Dan ticked him. No, he's GP2.
Yeah, he's GP2.
And he's not that great.
Yeah, he's a mouth and an arsehole and that's it.
Oof. Anyway.
So then we get to the driver's standings. They were not nice enough to put arrows beside this thing, so I can't tell who's moved where or what. Thanks, Formula One. So, Max Verstappen is still winning the championship on 226.5 points. Do I have to say the 0.5 all the time? Fuck.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Lewis Hamilton is in second with 221.5 points.
And you know what the best thing about that is? Oh, no, Carlos Sainz has them too. I was about to say, the only two drivers there that have 0.5 points are the ones that are going to be fighting for the championship. So you have to say 0.5 a lot.
Let's have another washed out race so we can have half points, just so we can balance the rate.
Even the damn thing out.
Valtteri Bottas, he's actually moved up to third.
Yep.
With 141 points. Lando Norris is in fourth with 132 points. Sergio Perez is in fifth with 118. Charles Leclerc is in sixth with 104. Carlos Sainz is in seventh with 97.5. Ricciardo has moved up to eighth.
Yeah, big points all for him.
With 83 points.
The full 26. The race win and the fastest lap.
Yes.
And, did he get... Yeah, he got points in the sprint race too. I think. 1?
I don't know.
2. We just talked about it.
And
we just talked about
Pierre Gasly is in ninth with 66 points, and Fernando Alonso is in 10th on 50 points. And then we go to the...
Yes, Ricciardo got 2 championship points in the sprint race.
Good man.
He had a good week. Yeah, good weekend.
Nice little haul. The constructors, Mercedes is still in charge with 362.5 points. Red Bull is in second with 344.5. McLaren in third with 215. Ferrari
Back up into third.
Back up into third, yes.
Back up into third with a good haul.
Ferrari is in fourth with 201.5 points. Alpine is in fifth with 95 points. AlphaTauri is in sixth with 84 points. Aston Martin is in seventh with 59 points. Williams is in eighth with 22 points. Alfa Romeo is in ninth with 3 points. And Haas is in the bottom with Zut.
Yeah, we just finished shitting on you guys, so stay there. AlphaTauri, how good of it? They've had a pretty solid season considering none of their cars even finished the race today. And they're still not that far behind Alpine.
The team out of that midfield that's really impressing me now, after I've sat there and shit on them all year, is Alpine.
Yeah, after we called their drivers overrated and shit. And Alonso and Esteban Ocon are like, yeah? Are we though?
After Hungary, it was just like, yeah, you're saying that? They're flipping us the bird.
Yeah, they should be. So they should be. They proved us wrong. We're here to be proven wrong.
Well, I'll ask you this question before we sign off. Who do you think is going to win the Constructors this year?
Mercedes.
Yeah?
Mercedes will win the Constructors. Max Verstappen will win the drivers.
Yeah, that's
Mercedes
what I think
will
too.
win. Yeah, Mercedes will win the Constructors because I just think Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton will be more higher placed. Valtteri Bottas will be more higher placed and more consistent than Sergio Perez.
Mind you,
And that'll be the difference.
Sochi hasn't really been a great hunting ground for Valtteri Bottas either.
That's true.
You know, he's clashed with Kimi Räikkönen in a Ferrari a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Mercedes will win the Constructors.
Yeah.
But Max Verstappen will win the drivers, yep.
Who do you think will win the Constructors between McLaren and Ferrari?
I think McLaren's got the momentum now.
I think McLaren's going to do it.
I think McLaren's got the momentum now. Yep.
But
absolutely.
It is so good seeing these two teams.
How good.
It's, you know.
It's not for the actual World Championship, but it's still a pretty good ding-dong battle between two old rivals.
And it's nice to see the old guard back.
But there's fights. We've been saying it all year. There's fights everywhere.
Yeah.
Mercedes and Red Bull, McLaren and Ferrari, and Alpine, AlphaTauri, and Aston Martin. And Williams is sort of getting up there. They're too far back, but they'll be in no man's land now. Too far away from Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, because you've got Mercedes and Red Bull fighting for the title.
Yeah.
You've got McLaren and Ferrari riding for the third spot on the podium. Alpine, AlphaTauri, and Aston Martin fighting for shits and giggles. You've got Williams, Alfa Romeo. They're kind of teasing each other, and then you got Haas, who are too busy fighting themselves.
I think Williams has won that battle with Alfa Romeo.
I think so.
I think
too.
after George Russell's podium in air quotes, and
he did do a good qualifying lap, so
and a good points haul. Latifi's got a couple of good points hauls.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Williams has definitely won that battle.
Yeah.
So good on them.
Yeah. So that's our wrap up of Monza. We're going to see you again in 2 weeks when they're in Sochi, in Russia.
Yeah,
in
that'll be
Mazepan country.
That'll be interesting.
In vodka land.
Let's see what the hometown hero wants to do in front of his hometown crowd. Ooh.
Crash into his teammate.
Crash into his teammate, probably.
Yeah. You could set a fucking watch to it.
Predictions?
Whoa.
I think Max gets it back.
I think Max is going to...
Max from Lewis from Valtteri. Sounds boring, but I think that's what's going to happen.
But I think it's going to suit the McLarens more than the Ferraris.
Yeah, Max from Lewis, from Valtteri, from Norris, from Leclerc, from Ricciardo.
And I think because of Christian Horner and Max Verstappen sitting there saying, look, we think it was a racing incident, I think that next race...
I forgot about the 3-place grid penalty.
Yeah, but I think Max will still take advantage of it, and I think the gloves are going to finally come off.
Mm.
If they haven't, they've been sliding off for a while. Max is finally going to throw them down and go, right, I've fucking done with you, son.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have Hunt and Lauder.
Yeah, this is going to be a fight at the end.
You know, Hunt and Lauder, Prost and Senna.
Lewis, yeah, he knows. He knows Max isn't going to give an inch now. I mean, he's known all year.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's just official now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like, well, Lewis is going to have to drive his ass off because Max is coming for him, and Max isn't scared of him. He's not intimidated.
Yeah.
And, you know, any half chance Max gets, he's going to take, and he's not going to pull any punches. It's going to be very interesting.
And it's going to be great to watch.
And it's going to be fantastic to watch.
Yeah,
It's going to be awesome.
This is the season we've been waiting since 2014 for.
This is it. If you guys are like on the fringe about watching Formula One, I highly suggest now is the time to start watching.
Yeah.
Get amongst it because it's going to be brilliant until the end.
Yeah. And it'll go down to the wire. It'll be the first time in a long time that it will go down to the wire.
This may actually go down to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It'll go down to Abu Dhabi.
Yep. This will be like Vettel Weber 2010. Like, this will be good.
And if you play Formula 1 2021, 22, 21.
21. Portimao track came out today.
Yep. Next month you've got Imola. And then in November you've got Jeddah.
That's it. We'll get our first taste of the Jeddah track.
And updated liveries. And updated performance.
Sweet. The McLaren's even faster now.
Which means I've still got to take it out of the shrink wrap.
You should really take it out of the shrink. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'll see you out there, mate. We should do a championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should do a championship.
Well, we've got to finish the other one, yeah?
I think we're going to.
That's true.
We'll see.
Anyway, well, thank you for tuning in. On behalf of myself and JB, we thank you for tuning in. We will see you in 2 weeks. I will repeat myself again. We will see you in 2 weeks for Sochi, for Sochi, for Sochi, for Sochi. Until then, it's goodbye.
One sec. Yeah!